I was having a conversation yesterday with a client, with an image professional about this, and it's such an important thing for us to all get right and start communicating to everyone to change the level of adoption, right now, because many people still haven't worked with a stylist before, and I know every one of you will have heard from your client, oh, I didn't think I could afford one. I thought they were just for, celebrities or really wealthy people. I don't know how long it would take. Basically, it doesn't appear valuable to me yet. So this is what I wanted us to chat with. So we might kick off. Has everyone got a cup of tea or a wine or a latte? Yay. Do you know what? Would everyone like to go around and introduce themselves so you can all get to know each other a little bit better? Anne, I'm just going to go around my grid. So, Anne, would you like to start?
Hi, everyone. So I'm Anne. I've been a colour image consultant for 14 years now, based in Brisbane. Love it. It's the best job in the world.
Beautiful. Beck, you want to go?
Me? Yes. Hi, I'm Rebecca Milkey, and I am in Eastern Washington. And it is the fourth day in a row of over 100 degrees. So, yeah, I don't have my lights on, and I'm not really naked, but anyway, I'm excited to chat with you ladies.
Oh, I feel for you. The stylists that I've been speaking to all week are really struggling. I've seen, like air conditioning units attached to the windows and fans going. It seems horrendous.
It's pretty intense.
Yeah. Well, thank you for joining us, even though you probably just want to fall asleep with the heat.
No, I'm happy to be here.
Katie?
Hi, well, my name is Cari Lopez de Gol. I am from South America, Venezuela, and I am currently living in San Jose, California, working with women that works in male-dominated environments.
Excellent, excellent. Beautiful Mari?
Yes, good evening from Toronto, Ontario, Canada. It's actually Canada Day here today, holiday, stat holiday. Yes. I'm not on camera because it is a holiday and I've just been lazing around the house all day. Well, not entirely lazing, doing things. But yes, with your help, Sarah, I am focusing on women, entrepreneurial women, 50 and above, who are shy about getting on camera, showing up consistently, confidently, just feeling natural on camera. So I'm focusing on that, but of course, adding in the style element as well, because you've got to look good on camera as well.
Exactly. And do you know what? That's a good reminder. Ladies, the goal here is to connect and learn interesting stuff. Do not worry if you're not made up. I would encourage you to put your camera on, because we can't always be on. We're not perfect human beings. Hi, Janine. Hi. I want everyone to feel comfortable, although I'm now just realizing that because I share this video as a link with everyone, maybe that's putting some of you off. So whatever you like, please feel free to turn up in whatever you're wearing. I'm just really thrilled to have you all here. Kelly, do you want to introduce yourself, darling?
Hello. Sorry, I'm talking quietly. It's midnight here in Brighton, UK. My partner's asleep in the next room and I'm in my pajamas, so that's why it's only brief and I've got no camera, but it's really lovely to be here with you all, and I'll talk in the chat if that's okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Thank you. You don't need to whisper.
No, you're right.
I do that.
I'm just going to, my dog will say a quick hello and then go. I am 99% sure that he is just going to go into someone's bedroom and go to the toilet. So I'm hoping that someone will deal with my puppy being very naughty. Now, Sabrina, did you want to say hi?
Hey everyone, so I'm Sabrina. I'm currently at my in-laws because it's Canada Day here in, we're in Quebec City here. So the lighting is not so great, so that's why I just had my camera off. But hey everyone, I'm a personal stylist here in the region of Montreal. I work with professional women and entrepreneurs, and I'm really thrilled to be here, and I'm really looking forward to hear what Sarah has to say today and hear about your experiences as well. I think it's going to be a great time together.
Great, beautiful, beautiful, and happy Canada Day.
Thank you. Thank you.
Janine.
Hello, I'm the same. I'm obviously over here in the UK, not obviously, but I'm in the UK with everybody else asleep in the house. So you start to feel like you need to whisper. So
yes, I do.
Everybody keep your voices down.
Yeah.
Hello, everybody. It's the first one of these I've actually managed to get to. So hello. I am Janine. I am a style coach based here in, as I say, in the UK. And I help women obviously with their style confidence. And primarily I work with women on their personal brands and their styling to get visible in their business.
Beautiful. I do feel like I need to whisper. Gigi, welcome, honey. I'll just get you off mute.
Hello, beautiful.
Hi, darling. How are you?
How are you?
Good to see you.
So happy to see you. Me too.
Introduce.
You have a beautiful cast of beautiful women here and stylists.
Yes, I'm so excited. Tell everyone a little bit about yourself, Gigi.
Hello, everyone. My name is Gigi. I am the Chief Creative Officer for Camisole Style Consultancy, where we help you design, shape, and refine a personal style that is unique to you and identifiable by others.
Fabulous, fabulous. And Susan, did you want to say hi, Susan? Susan, I don't know if we can hear you. And Janice, welcome. Janice or Susan, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hello, can you hear me?
We can, yes.
Hi, everyone. I've been working in the yard, so I'm not dressed for the occasion, but I'm excited to be here.
Beautiful.
I'm fixing dinner.
Whereabouts are you located, Janice?
Oh, I'm in the United States. I'm in Atlanta, Georgia.
Beautiful. Welcome. All right, ladies. Well, let's crack into this discussion. Before we begin, what I thought we'd do is just hear from all of you on whether you have found a particular message or point that has really tipped the scales and made clients understand the value. So when you've been on a conversation, maybe a discovery call or a sales call with someone, and you're trying to explain to them, the benefits and the reasons why they should invest, has anyone discovered something that really resonates with clients in terms of return on investment? So we'll hear from everyone else first, and then I'll share some of my ideas. No? Okay.
That's a no for me.
Okay. All righty. Well, in preparation for the answer to no, I think the only way we can determine the value of a personal styling session is if we understand who our niche client is and what they value, how value is perceived according to them. Because for those of you that work with, let's say, executive professionals that might be sort of C-suite, they do not have a lot of time. They don't want to do their own shopping. They want the whole thing meticulously planned and outsourced. The return on investment for them would be time and convenience. Whereas some of you who are working with, let's say, mums with young kids that are launching a business, cost might be the metric that they're looking for. They're looking to make sure that they get value out of the clothing that they do wear and the experience. So does everyone have a firm idea of what the one biggest value point would be for their niche audience? Maybe? Okay. So what we
Cara, can I share?
Please, Caddy. Yes.
I don't remember if I told you this the first time we met, that in my case, it was the return on investment is, it's potentially, because not everyone is going to be in my same exact position to advance their career, but my career advancement after doing my own image transformation, it was 230% increasement in my annual earnings.
Wow.
So
That's amazing.
yes, and I think that we, for example, those people that are too busy and they are executive or vice president, if they are earning, I don't know, $200,000 or $500,000 a year, we can calculate that. I mean, how much time are we saving that for them? And let's say it is their hourly rate is like, I don't know, $1,000. So if we are saving them 18 hours, well, we are saving them $18,000.
Absolutely.
That's amazing.
The data, what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to use data, metrics, information that we have. But again, how many of you have created a post, a blog post, or it's on your website? You'll say, working with a personal stylist is incredible. You'll save time. You'll be able to get dressed faster in the morning. You'll save money when you're shopping. And you kind of list all of these values, which they're true. But if I don't care, if all I care about is convenience, then I would prefer to be reading a stylist who talks extensively about the return from that perspective. So sort of step one, understanding who your niche client is and what they define as valuable for them. That is going to be what we would call the trigger point to booking in with you. And the other issue is, what is the problem costing them? So if they don't have let's say, Caddy, to sort of flip that statement around, have a think about the problem that all of you are solving with your styling and image services. Because if we're not solving a problem, then it's very hard as a business to be able to promote our services. So what is the problem currently, and what is that costing your niche client to right now? So, for example, it's somewhat more straightforward when you're working with people, and the promise is sort of career advancement, building your business. So you can start to work out, okay, well, what's it actually financially costing you, or how much time is it taking up every day? And if you don't know, this is what we're going to work out. We're sitting down and figuring out, okay, well, how long per day does someone stand in their wardrobe in their bedroom working out what to wear, trying outfits? Like my husband will say to me, he knows it's a minimum of 3 outfits before I've found what I like. Like all of us, these are things that we just think are normal right now. But if someone said to me, what about you put one on for the first time and you're ready in 5 minutes? I've got young kids, I've got a business. So for me, that's an extra half an hour a day that maybe I could actually sit in a car quietly and just be on my own with no one asking me to cook them a piece of food. That to me is valuable. So what we want to do here is explore data. I've got 2 screens, so I'm just referring to my other screen. How many of you are aware of what the average spend per year your clients make on clothing? You know how you'll read reports and it'll say retail Australian consumers spend on average $2,000 a year on apparel, let's say. So does anyone know what the average spend is for their client? you can Google this today. And it's really interesting because if we then understand, this is just another example of a metric. If we know that women on average spend $2,000 a year on clothing, but then we also know that women only wear, is it 10 to 20% of their wardrobe? Let's just say 20%, so I can do the maths easily. So $800 a year, $1,600. Well, I'm not doing the maths well because I had, $1,000 in my head. We'll start at the very beginning. It's early. I've had 3 sips of my tea. So let's say they spend $1,000 a year on clothing. They only wear 20% of their wardrobe. So $800, you could pretty much just crunch up and throw in the bin, because there's a whole lot of clothing sitting in their wardrobe, and each piece can be attributed to a cost. So when we start to think about the value of our wardrobe, perhaps for some of you, you could take the line of, well, I can save you X amount of dollars per year, or we can start to bump up the value of your existing wardrobe. Because I guess one of the other things, people like me I'm not a stylist, but I will continue to make the same mistakes. I will continue to buy the same thing. And then, so I'm putting money in, and I'm just building up a wardrobe full of clothing that has no value. It's a waste. So if you talk about that, if you know that your core client is really, that's the sticking point for them, that's really something that they're getting a bit cross about, then that's the return on investment. Whereas maybe for someone that is focused on a sustainability angle, for those of you that are, and potentially some of the key messages you share in your content are, reduce landfill, get more value out of your wardrobe. Well, what value? Maybe the statement for you, the data, could be cost per wear, which I think is just such a fabulous thing. And I use this all the time. I genuinely, even though it doesn't really matter, but if you, I wrote down something like, if you were able to get the cost per wear down to $1 for every piece of clothing in your wardrobe, then technically I'm looking at a jacket going, it doesn't matter that it was $600. I've worn it X amount of time, well, 600 times. So now the cost per wear is $1. So we can start to throw some numbers around. So we're not just, we need to shift the conversation or the concept of a stylist from it's a nice to have to it is an absolute have to have. And I was chatting with a stylist yesterday, and, we discovered when you do the grocery shop, like when you go and do a shop for your family or yourself, most of the time you take a list because you need to know what you've got in your fridge and pantry. You don't just go, I'm just going to take a bet and say, I'll have some more rice, I'll have some more eggs. We all need some more tomato sauce. I've got 17 bottles at home, but I'll get another one just in case. Yet we go shopping and I buy the same thing every single day, some ludicrous pink sequined fur thing, and instead of looking at what the gaps are. So that may be the return on investment angle let's take. The sun's come out. This is annoying me, everyone. So sorry. There's nothing I can do about it. I've got a beautiful light in front of me, and it makes no difference. What's everyone thinking right now? Has anyone got any ideas brewing?
I haven't got ideas brewing. Well, I have got ideas brewing, but what you've just said there is what I say to clients is you wouldn't go if you don't go food shopping without a list. And if you do go food shopping without a list, because let's be honest, we've all done it, you come home and you've spent way more than you expected to because you just went in for milk and bread. Yeah. But you come out with a load of stuff you don't need and you can't actually make any meals together. And it's a bit like if you go and shop like that for your wardrobe. I always say I'm not trying to be the fun sponge, but, if you go with a list and you know what you've got in your wardrobe and you know what you need to fill it, you're going to get far more out of it and not waste your money. And as you say, not keep buying the same old thing because you're drawn to it every single time like a magpie.
Yes. And I think I know for me, I have grown up shopping. My family was in like commercial property development, so building shopping centres. And so for me, I go to a shopping centre. I go shopping as my self-care. I don't necessarily buy, but just being around the shops, I love to look at everything, get an idea of the stock in all stores. But I think that the behavioural shift that is coming from a consumer perspective is, are you either just window shopping because you're just having a coffee, having a browse, you want to get away from, work for a few hours or the kids or what have you, or are you shopping with intent? And if you're shopping with intent, then you shouldn't be just walking around with a handbag and an idea. We really want to have an inventory somehow of the things that we have already. And so what if you were going to spend money today, what would it be on that could, so you're not buying one piece, you're thinking, how can that create another 3 outfits,
Mm-hmm.
Another thing, and for some of you, being an image professional requires you to have a certain level of understanding of the brands that are available. So if you asked typically someone that is not a stylist, not an image professional, list 10 fashion brands. I don't know if we'd know 10, the brands, the retailers that we're familiar with is quite small, it's quite limited, which then means that unless you're a perfect sample size, it's very hard for you to find clothing. Whereas a stylist should be across all of the brands and boutiques, sustainable brands, plus size brands, petite brands. This is your bread and butter, being able to access and be the conduit between retailers and customers. So another way of communicating the value would be that if you have your finger on the pulse, if like you could have a calendar of 100 retailers that your ideal client would love. Your ideal client might not be aware of them yet, but that's your job to introduce them to new brands. And you might keep sort of like a monthly note of every single one of them when they go on sale, when their sales periods are and what it is. Because again, being a stylist doesn't just mean color analysis, or it doesn't just mean creating outfits. You are the glue, the conduit between the retail world and the consumer. So for those of you who have a niche client that really relies on, but who really, the importance of spending wisely and making considered purchases, this would be a great concept to be able to say every month, these are the sales that are on. And now, and so if these, if for the biggest sales periods, here are the items that we would recommend you invest in, but they're now at a discount. So you're sort of, you have your finger on the pulse and you're guiding them that way. Do any of you negotiate discounts or value add experiences with retailers, with stores? Janine?
For myself? Oh, sorry.
Oh, yeah. Sabrina? Yeah.
No, I was just going to say I used to, but since COVID, things have changed a little bit. So some stores do not offer those options anymore. But before I did have a percentage. I remember there was one store I had 30% on every purchases that I made there, which was very nice. And I had other discounts too. But now with COVID, they've changed a little bit the regulation. Hopefully it will get back to that after, maybe in a few months. But yes, I used to have that.
Can I just tell you guys, you are in the best industry. Sabrina, it absolutely will change. The way that physical stores are changing, the way consumers are changing, and the way the retail landscape is changing. You have an incredibly good, powerful golden resource at your disposal, all of you, which is a micro community of highly engaged customers. And that is exactly what every brand wants.
Yes.
We have a challenge at the moment to sort of tread water through COVID, because the majority of retailers are hemorrhaging money if they've got physical stores, as we know. So there's and shopping centres themselves, they're landlords, and so they've got tenants which are brands that can't pay their rent. So there's a lot of pressure. But moving forward, the future of retail will be you guys connecting your micro communities, your highly engaged communities with brands. So if you are able to broach local boutiques at the moment, because of COVID, there's now sort of a renewed interest in supporting local. So whether you've got your local shopping strips, you know, with mixed brand retailers, or, you know, it doesn't really matter. I would be pushing back to them and saying, I have X amount of women that typically spend X dollars per transaction. That's what we call their basket size, any of you that have been in sales. So when someone, you know, like, I'm just trying to think, like an Australian brand, let's say Witchery, and, you know, Witchery or Country Road are sort of big Australian brands. Perhaps the average basket size, the average amount that a customer spends might be $99. But the amazing power of a stylist and her community is that because of your technical advice, your skills, your trust, you are able to increase that transaction. I mean, what's the largest amount one of your clients have spent on a shopping trip? Anyone?
About 3,500
pounds, right? So
yeah.
This is
me about like 15,000 Canadian dollars.
Wow.
So yeah.
And this is
powerful.
Because of you. This is because of you guys. It's not that you're a car salesman trying to, you know, get people to spend more money. You're just approaching this in a methodical, technical, but also emotional, warm, nurturing way. And it is so golden. So I mean, this is what gets me up, and this the concept of this relationship literally is the most exciting thing. So having a think about what your ideal client values. Is it time? Is it money? Is it convenience? Is it the future opportunities? That we need to anchor them in data and metrics. So, for example, many of you would have niche clients that are in the professional working women entrepreneurial space. It's really important, though, that we niche a little bit further and go, okay, but hold on, for my marketing messaging to cut through the noise online, let's pick the role that they're going for and talk about that, or pick the salary bracket that people, that there's typical sort of salary brackets depending on the level of seniority in your industry. So it may be that your marketing content is all around getting people from that 150K to 250K. That $100,000 jump, what do you need to do there? Is that a combination of professional development, style, verbal and non-verbal cues, whatever it might be? But if we can really nail down the value that they care about and then use data, and then basically we need to communicate that on every touch point. I've been talking for a while. I'd love to hear from everyone else on what their thoughts are. And you've had so much experience. You want to share some of your insight with your highly engaged community online?
Yeah, I mean, I hadn't really thought about that. I suppose I do recommend some places, but I haven't definitely got money coming in. I did for a while. Those of you in England will know Kettlewell. So for a while, I used to bring Kettlewell out to Australia, and that was great. But then they stopped the commission structure, and I had a client want to return stuff, which was painful. But it's not something I've really worked on. I suppose I do represent a bra company and a skincare company, so I use that way. But as you know, I don't.
So are you saying the value that you communicate is that you have kind of all of the different areas of style at their fingertips, whether it's color analysis and then the makeup palettes, the beauty, the
skincare, the bras. So in that way I'm going, hey, this would be great for you, because I know those, but I haven't done it really with shops much.
I would say, Anne, I know your niche client, and Anne has an incredible Facebook community of women that are actively engaging in conversation every day, which I say all the time to Anne is just gold. As we all know how hard it is to get people to genuinely engage and move towards a purchase or a booking. But I think we've spoken before about your core client being that sort of mid-tier shopper in terms of the brand.
Yeah.
So if they're focused on value, they're careful spenders, then being able to say in your marketing, when we go shopping, not only are you getting the technical expertise, but the savings that you'll accrue with, the pre-negotiated arrangements you have with brands would cover the cost of a styling session.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's not something I've done until recently. I haven't really taken people shopping. I've very much been in studio. But I've done it a couple of times recently really successfully. So I did something until this week. We went in lockdown, but now we're in lockdown. So
yes, it's horrendous. Cara, I haven't welcomed you, Cara, to the group. How are you, darling? Oh,
I'm good. How are you?
Good, honey. How would you like to introduce yourself to the group?
Sure. I'm Kara. I'm based in the DMV area. I studied under Carla and Stacy London. I've been styling for about 18 years. And yeah, I enjoy it. It makes my life.
What about, have any of you been doing some virtual shopping, producing shop share TV boards or shoppable mood boards for clients over the last 6 months? And how are you finding the uptake on that? Are clients quite happy and they're easily then purchasing garments and they're pretty satisfied?
Mine love it. Yeah, they really love it. I've been doing it in different ways with them, and actually the shoppable mood boards with the video content as well. I've just had really, really great feedback from it. The only thing I do find is it can be quite time consuming, but other than that, I love it.
So if we think about some of the benefits from working with a professional when you're shopping online, there's a reduction in the shipping and returns. Even like a lot of retailers will offer free returns, but I still find it so annoying to have to go to the post office. It's just the whole process is annoying. So if you're working with someone that is well versed in fabrication, they can look at the garment and understand whether the color is appropriate for that. That's one of the other issues. You're having a look at a color of the product online, and then you get it home, and the actual, like the warmth, the depth, the whole thing can be quite different, and therefore it doesn't look good on you. So perhaps for some of you, communicating the return on investment is that it reduces the amount of time and the cost of returns and shipping, because you're getting a more considered recommendation immediately. Mm-hmm. Kelly, you had a question. I know you're trying to speak in silence. 1 second. Kelly says, do you think it's more realistic to approach local independent brands, or is it possible with large chains too? I just had a chat with the head of a huge commercial property business in Australia, who was saying to me, right now, the big chains are 100% focused on reducing debt. They have physical stores, and they have had obviously reduced footfall. No one's in the stores because of lockdown. They've got massive overheads. So approaching them at the moment is hard, because a large chain like that, you'll have to go through their internal, like their head office marketing teams, and it's just not a priority for them at the moment. Whereas if we have a look at the consumer reports for 2021, what you'll find is that customers are feeling more from like an altruistic perspective, a community perspective, that they want to support local brands and boutiques. So not only is it easier in terms of like transactionally, you could just go into the local boutique and typically the owner of the boutique is working there, or if not, it's just one other staff member. So it's easier to say, listen, but be very clear with them. This is my niche client. She is 48. She buys this type of thing. She spends this. I want to be able to connect the two of you and build a relationship. How can you incentivize me? And it may be that they either say, well, we can provide you with a commission on every sale, or it could be that they say straight up, we're happy to provide a 15% discount, whatever the arrangement might be. But I would say local independent brands are going to be the most open and flexible, and they're also desperate for customers.
Nordstrom also has a stylist program that you can join, and you can create boards for your clients and send them to them, and they can shop right from them, and you get commission like that too.
That's right. Cara, are you one of the Nordstrom stylists?
I'm one of the independent stylists that if I go in the store and shop for a client, I get if it's scheduled ahead of time, I get commission and things like that. But there's also an app they're using now that you can build style boards, and your clients can shop off of them, and you can get commission that way too.
Excellent. I think another really important point again, and it's something that we forget about, most of you would have at least 5 clients or 5 friends, 5 people that you could ask these questions. So instead of us just guessing, let's push it out to market, and whether that's polls on social media, whether that's using SurveyMonkey, creating a little survey that you send out via email, and you can even say, for everyone that answers this, I'm offering X, maybe it's an incentive to book in with you, where it's a cost saving or something. You don't have to offer an incentive, but if you're struggling to get people to respond, that might be an idea. But let's ask them. Let's ask those clients, what were the impacts? Did you save money? Did you save time? Did you get a job, the promotion that you were vying for? Did you secure a public speaking engagement that you were really struggling with before? Particularly for those of you working with women that use LinkedIn a lot, they're on LinkedIn trying to network and secure opportunities to build their brand or to network with other organizations. So let's ask them what value they derived from it, but then also what is the biggest concern for them, or what's the biggest value proposition for them. Because what I would say is we probably are all spending a little bit too much time talking about the confidence component as a return on investment, which is absolutely vital, but it's not necessarily a trigger point for a booking.
I think I agree with you, Sarah, and that's why when I speak to my clients, when I explain the different services that I have, I talk a lot about the return on investment, because I think that everyone, when they're investing money, they're expecting something in return, and confidence, like you said, is great, but it's not something that you can calculate, right? So it's hard. It's a little bit too fluffy for them. Yeah. Sometimes they need something a little bit more specific. So when I speak to my clients, when I tell them that we will reorganize your closet in a way that is so practical that when you have to dress up in the morning, it's so easy for you to just grab your clothes and go. When I talk about the fact that I'm going to be doing the shopping, we're going to be buying specific items that are strategic and that are going to help them spend less money. And when we talk about creating a lookbook with all the pictures of all the outfits, well, in the morning you don't have to think, so it can be very practical for you and very convenient to just pick out an outfit. And for me, when I speak about this aspect that is a lot more practical and a lot, I feel like people really see the return on investment. I see the results. And for me, when I started really doing that, when I was doing my discovery calls with my clients, my closing rate went up incredibly. Now, when I speak to them and I talk about that aspect, I would say that out of 10, I get about 9 yeses. It's very rare that I get a no. So I feel like what you're saying is so true, and it made a big, big difference for me in my business.
That's so great to hear. That's also something that you can do with the way that you present your services, even in the titles. I think for those of you that I've worked with most of you, so you would know, talking about your service titles, as opposed to saying it's a personal shopping session, maybe leading with the deliverable. Because yes, we're going to do a personal shop together. That's the how. That's the delivery method. We're going to be together in the shopping centre. But really what I'm buying is 10 new outfits or 5 connecting pieces that will deliver 50 new outfits once, because I think I've said to some of you, I've got a lot of fun like theatre pieces in my wardrobe, but not enough connecting pieces. You know what I mean? Like, so I can't make outfits because each one of them none of it goes with any of it. They're all standalone. So thinking about the deliverables is another reason why, or sort of a reminder rather, when someone says potentially working with a stylist is too expensive, that statement to me tells me that they don't understand the value, because we'll find the money for stuff that we feel is valuable. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, remember when laser hair removal came out? It was so expensive to get, you know, like laser, but it was very popular in Australia, cost a fortune. We found the money because it was like, oh my God, are you telling me I don't have to go through the waxing pain anymore? That's amazing. It was very clear to me, and straight away, something that would happen is they would say, right, you're going to need 10 sessions. You're going to have to pay $1,000 up front. And you're thinking to yourself, Jesus, that's a lot of money. But then immediately in my brain, you do the math and you go, well, hold on. Normally you'd have a waxing appointment every month for the next 12 months, and you calculate it. And that's probably one of the issues in this industry. There's no sort of regulated pricing, which means when someone says, okay, this is the service and it's going to be $500 or $1,800, we as a customer need to be able to do the math and work out what the return on investment is. And if you're only talking about an emotional return of confidence, unless that is very, very specific to a very, very particular need, Kelly, I would say your niche is probably, you could work on it. You could use emotional benefits as well. Kelly, do you want to just share your niche in the chat, or am I able to? She'll type it in a second. We need to be able to understand whether what we're about to do is going to be a good investment or not. And that word investment implies we're going to balance up the pros and the cons of paying for it versus what it will cost me if I don't have it. So that is essentially something that everyone could work on this weekend, thinking, okay, what would it cost my client if they didn't work with me, and what are they willing to pay to make that change? I'll just let you know, Kelly's niche is the LGBTQ community. So really, really great niche, because for a lot of LGBTQI community members in senior professional positions at work, each one of them have their own sort of identity, and they're not necessarily fitting into the female work look or the typical male work look. So they need someone that's going to help them create outfits and find brands that are more aligned to their identity. And not enough people are talking about that. So it's a really brilliant community, which means because it's so niche and because it's so because it's an underserved market, you are able to talk about I think emotional return on investment, things like finally being able to feel aligned, your gender, your sexuality, and your professional environment aligned in what you look like, and because that's a sort of emotional financial component. But if we were then to say that the majority of stylists are talking about feeling great in what you look like, finding your confidence again, those things are fantastic, but they might not make them spend straight away.